Hello guys, so as promised, a small video today. I will try to keep it small. About Antigravity, the IDE released by Google last week when they released Gemini 3.0. Uh, the idea is to try it, see what it's possible to do. So it is again behind the scenes. So I want to make it as simple as possible for everybody to understand, and I will try to popularize what we're doing with the new IDE. I think the best is because I saved this work on the project Indulge It you're seeing right now at the screen. So if you didn't watch the last video, I will put it in the comment below. But we're gonna do exactly the same thing because I saved the state of the website, so the code and the database at this step. So what's funny is we will be able to compare what Gemini 2.5 was doing with Gemini 3.0, but this time we are going to use it directly in the IDE because Google released Antigravity, which comes, so it's a fork of Visual Code Studio, which was my default IDE. So for me, it's not a big change. Only I switched from an open source own Microsoft IDE to I don't know if it's open source, at least probably the base, the same as Microsoft, but now it's an IDE provided by Google. Here they are giving us access to Gemini 3.0 Pro as an agent for free directly in the browser. I think, let's see, I will describe a bit the problem. I will pass you on the website, Indulge It. So if you don't know about it, I recommend you go check the last video quickly, though it was a long video. Problem I had on this website is with the dashboard, because currently when users share their page, I'm recording in a single entity where visitors were coming from and where they are clicking. So to make it simple, users of my website, they will create an account, create a page holding all their socials, and they will share it on different websites. It can be YouTube, it can be Instagram, it can be whichever. Those link visitors, so other users of those platforms, they would click and find all the socials of the influencer. And currently, all this was stored in a single entity. So a visitor would click on the Enderjet link. I will record the source, so where they are coming from which website they are coming, with their country of origin, and the target, which social they are clicking. So here it is the visitor clicked on Instagram. All this will be recorded in the dashboard to have inbounds, so origins, outbounds, where they clicked, their country of origin, and making a total. The problem I have here is because I'm recording each time in one entity. Here, for example, we have 17,000 entities. And the way I built this product was as a MVP, and I'm loading all the entities and making all the calculation, all the math in PHP, which is not the proper tool for doing that. And I send you back to the previous video to see how I figured that working with AI. I guess we will try again, give it a try again, and I want to push it as much as possible to see if we can, because it is very nice the way they made it. We can discuss with the AI, and when we are ready, it will create a plan for us, telling us what it is gonna do. And when we're ready, we're like, okay, execute, and then it performs the changes. So what I want to try this time, because I just tried once before, is I want to make it plan everything we need, and when we are done, see if I can just press enter and the code is given. So let's get back to let's get back from scratch. I will also ditch the git attribute. and I think I'm not very used to work with anti-gravity for now. So I'm thinking that maybe if I use the terminal from anti-gravity, it will know where to use the website, because this IDE is normally capable of browsing the website by itself and trying making tests and improving itself. So I'm thinking that maybe if I use the terminal from the IDE, it knows where it has to go. We will just start the website with the dev, and what we are gonna do is start with kind of the same prompt of what I did with Gemini 2.5, only now we don't need to pass it context because it has full access to the entire context. So I actually really don't know if I need to give it context like it's a Drupal website, because it has access to everything. But I'm keeping this prompt because that's the prompt I used last time, and let's see where we can go with that. Let's read it quickly. I have a Drupal website which provides link in bio services to users. Currently, I already have a few users. Some of them are making more than 10k visits per month. I'm providing analytics about inbounds and outbounds, notably by providing all-time statistics in addition to monthly statistics. The issue is that this page becomes very slow for users with like 30 to 40k inbound and outbound recorded. I need to improve the code. I was thinking of creating a new entity called Endergit Statistic Monthly Click, which would hold the sum of monthly statistics. I explained all of this approach in my last video, and you can go check. But here I'm pretending I didn't work on this idea, which was the case the first time. Now I know where I want to go, and I think that's what we're gonna do together. But I'm starting with the same. Uh, I want to try Gemini 3, so I'm starting with the same approach. Like I don't know where I want to go. I'm giving it the problem, and let's see where we can go with that. Okay, so I was already pointing few pointers this way. So I wanted to create a new entity to store like aggregated data. So I don't have 17,000 of entities to load, but a monthly. So aggregate every month in one entity all the data for the month per user. So that's what I wanted to do. So I already came with the idea you need to have a cron job, so an automated task to perform all this change of data structure and every month without us intervening. For now, I don't want you to start working on the code. Let's see. I will just prompt this and see where it goes. So I've seen the first time it takes quite a bit of time, but he's already analyzing Ender statistics module. Now he's going to check my entity, the structure of it. So he found one controller, profile statistic. He's right about that. This is my entity, statistic click. Analyze the schema to know the structure of the entity. I mean, that's quite amazing. Huh? And also the chart, it got. Uh, he is basically working or analyzing the proper files. Huh? But maybe it will end up coming with the same solution it did last time, and I want to see if I can push it to go where I want to go. Okay, I messed up. Okay, I messed up. Without including past to review was a blunder. Documentation is clear. Wait. We can go through all the thought, but there is a lot. It's right. I mean, that's a LLM, so they are made to write, so they write a lot. So here we get it. We had to wait a little bit. It was analyzing everything, but it comes with a proposed solution. So let's see. Instead of loading entities, we will use Drupal database service to execute optimized SQL aggregation queries. Performance: the database is optimized for aggregation. Yeah. PHP receives only the final result. 5 rows instead of 4,000. No need for new entities, cron job, or queue workers. Real-time stats are always up to date. That's funny. It came exactly with the same same result. Okay, profile statistic controller action rewrite general global statistic to use Drupal select. Okay, and of course it has to refactor profile chart controller. Automated test. We will verify the page loads successfully. We can check the correct execution time if possible, or simply observe the speed up. Visit the statistic page for user manual verification. Yeah, okay. So I took a little bit of time to check the video at the beginning because I wanted to see where it is going right now. Um, because it is again actually making me think about the approach it is taking. It is trying to do exactly the same thing as before, which is very nice because it's consistent. And I think Google worked a lot to actually get LLM to be consistent because in our process, in our business process, consistency for a LLM is actually best rule so we can automatize things. I came with a simple question, so I just made one more prompt between what we did before and now. Don't you think it will still query a lot of MySQL rows? Shouldn't an aggregation approach be a bit more efficient? And then it started to think about it, and it gave a very nice answer. You're asking the right question. It's true that count touches rows, but here is a key difference. So current bottleneck loading 4,000 entities and having 4,000 PHP objects, which was the initial problem. No problem about that. SQL approach, scanning 40,000 rows in MySQL with an index takes milliseconds. MySQL is optimized to count index entries without even reading the full data row. So it is right. What it's not. So maybe Google don't have problem with data storage because they own a lot of data. Uh, but to me, I mean, when every time we create an index, we basically transfer computing power into data because an index will take a lot of storage um, in your hard drive. So the thing is, for each because each row which will have like more duplicate, and here we are talking about big data, 4,000, and 4,000 is only one user here, so we will have 4,000 rows for each index multiplied. So this is uh, this approach to me is totally fine, but basically it creates not another problem for me. It's then I will have to pay for data storage while I do have a lot of computing power available right now because I'm just loading cached pages. I mean, this website is very not resource consuming except for this page each time a user visits their dashboard. From there, I would spend a good time of the next hour trying to push Gemini to go where I want. And at the end, I can tell you it was unsuccessful and it's not the right approach. Okay, so let's try another approach because results were not correct for the previous implementation. So now it has been two implementation I've been trying. Both failed. And I created a single prompt which contain all the information and see if it can figure out a solution on its own without making it a several step process. I mean, it's a bit of cheating. I don't know if that's a real life scenario we're doing because I'm rebuilding something I already built, already worked with AI and everything, but I'm just trying to see the capabilities of Antigravity and Gemini 3.0. So let's see. The current prompt. I'm currently displaying a dashboard to my users with their statistics in a profile statistic controller. So this controller we can see on the left, and the other controller, profile chart controller. Both controller, one display this part of the page and one is displaying all those charts. The problem I have is that currently this controller uses Drupal entity, statistic click, So I'm linking just the path to the entity definition to generate the statistic, and it is really not performant when users have 40k clicks registered for a month, and even less performant when calculating the total. What I want you to do is to create a custom table. Here I'm directly telling it what I want without going through the thinking process that will hold aggregated statistics for users. You will identify the needed structure of this table from the way the statistics are rendered to the user in the controller. Find yourself the structure of this table, because I don't want to do it, even though we did it last time, but I want it to figure it out by itself, and it should guess the structure from how the statistics are rendered in the controller. Make it simple and efficient. In addition, you will need to create a cron job and a queue worker so that each month a cron task is executed the first day of the month at midnight and 5 minutes. I'm using Ultimate Cron. Please check. I'm sending it to a configuration file where it can have an idea of what is expected for the cron configuration file. Again, this attempt was unsuccessful. I spent a lot of time reviewing files. It basically created a mashup of code a bit of everywhere. Um, because at this point you need to understand what was its logic and everything. So whereas I wanted it to go my direction, it again went its direction. And of course, my initial prompt was not correct. Though this time I figured out you could add a comment to the implementation plan like you're seeing right now, which is already a good new feature discovered, which will help in the future. So it finished, but already from the walkthrough I could tell I'm not happy. I will just, for the sake of this video, try to see if it works, but in my honest opinion here, this does feel like vibe coding, and it's like, so I know it is my first day experiencing anti-gravity, but I've been trying several attempts. Sometimes it wasn't working, sometimes it was working, not yet, I think. Let's see if this one works, but it has made, for example, it has moved my service, statistic manager, here, which now I can't even see the diff. So I can tell that the code it's doing, often coming back to same logic, so it's not dumb. Huh? It's doing the job, but there are changes here which will take me a while to review, probably revamp, maybe asking it to revamp. But thing is, at some point, you're never better served than by yourself, you know. So if I want to get it done the way I want it, I would have to do it my way. Okay, so today is passed since the last time I recorded, because yesterday I had some issues with Gemini, and I'm wondering if actually it's victim of its success. A lot of people are probably using it. So yeah, as you can see, I tried several times to prompt the same thing and it didn't work. My approach now is I've built a prompt. So this time I wrote it using a text file, because as I mentioned, you can only put a single line in the prompt. I hope they will improve that with time. It's not very well, so you can't really structure your prompt, and I don't like it. So I wrote it in a text file, and I will copy and paste. So let's read it. This time I'm trying to do everything at once, only I'm giving way more pointers. Um, so I'm not letting it guess the approach. I'm literally telling it what it has to do. So would mean you could discuss with Gemini on AI Studio from Google, and then just prompt in anti-gravity. So let's read the prompt. You are working on a Drupal website which offers link in bio services to its users. The website runs under PHP 8.3 with Drupal 11 and you will produce code that look like the code you will find in the project files. I want you to fix that currently the user dashboard profile dashboard is very slow because it displays statistics based on a Drupal entity, statistic click, which record each visit of visitors to their page. For users having 40k visits per month, it becomes a problem when loading the all the time statistics, which displays their statistics since they created their account, more than 40,000 visits, and the monthly statistics analytic per period, as it still needs to load 40,000 entities to display charts when an entire month range is selected. So as you see, I'm giving it a path here because I have configured the browser to be used by Antigravity, and I hope, let's see if it's gonna use it to make some tests. I want you to create a custom MySQL table which will hold statistic aggregation per user and per month. Make sure to include a hook update in the install file to install the table. Create a cron job using Ultimate Cron, which will run each month, the first day of the month at midnight and 5 minutes, and which will plan users aggregation using a queue worker for the past months, aggregating click entities values into statistic ready values in the custom table. Create the queue worker which will only receive the user UID and will generate the data for the custom table. In case this queue worker fails, it should reschedule itself 5 times before writing an error log into the watchdog. So I'm really trying to be the most specific to get what I want. And let's see what it's gonna do. Create a hook post update to aggregate click entity values for the month before the previous one, which will be generated running the cron. Revamp both controllers, profile statistic controllers, and profile charts controller to use a single MySQL query to the custom table, because until now it has been generated like 3 or until 6 queries, which are fast, but I think it's better to just take everything at once and then perform a bit of computing power with PHP, or directly to the click entity when needed to generate all the time statistic and prepare it. Okay, I'm adding when working with dates, make sure to use Drupal datetime and force UTC when operations are made in the backend server side. When displaying the dates to users, do not force UTC as Drupal will automatically use users configure time zone. You can visit the site using this ULI. So I have generated one ULI so it can hopefully log in as the user I have been working with since the start. You can run bhat test related to statistic using the dev, and I'm giving it a command. So I think normally, if it works today, hopefully, it would generate a plan, and I will try to comment this plan as much as possible to get exactly what I want, and hopefully we will manage to get everything in one prompt. That's what I hope. Okay, it seems it's working today. So yeah, I've been working a bit with it past days, also on Microsoft Visual Studio Code, because they have also implemented such a agent-like feature to work with different models, and they don't have Gemini. And I have figured out that if you kind of work in the files while it is working in the file, you are like competing with it and messing up. So it's best to either work on files it's not working on, or I don't know, do something else, work on, on another project or something. Okay, so implementation. So we have task. So did it get what it has to do? So it will automatically tick things when it's done. So create custom table, energy statistic monthly. Okay, create a statistic install with hook schema, add hook update and inside the table. Superb. And here I can add comments. Huh? Implement aggregation logic, create statistic aggregation worker, queue worker, create cron job configuration, ultimate cron job statistic. Wow, that seems perfect. Create hook cron, to queue. So here I will put a comment. Okay, so I think this step is one of the most important one because we can correct before it's gonna make some mess. We can correct its implementation plan. So here I can tell it's not a hook cron it needs to use because it's gonna use ultimate cron and it's just we need a callback. So I will just let it figure this out. You do not need a hook cron but a ultimate cron job callback that you are let's see, but I think I have a file for this. Yes, that you can put in indulge statistics crons.inc. This is only regarding your last step. Well, I'm just gonna put it like that. Backfill data, create hook post update name in post update, that's perfect. Refactor controllers, that's perfect. Run bhat test and verify manual aggregation. So let's try to push it. Can you yourself using Chrome and the ULI provided? Okay, let's go for the implementation plan. Statistic optimization plan. Goal description. Optimize the user dashboard profile, dashboard performance by aggregating statistics into a custom MySQL table. This will reduce the load when displaying all-time and monthly statistics for users with high traffic. Propose changes. Database schema. Create a new table. Okay. So it again, it comes with this approach of blob, and let's force it. Okay, so I will put please do not store data into blob or JSON, but add two columns to your table, removing this one. Okay, for source, target, country, etc. and value. So I will just point it maybe with a quotation, and value for the count of the total statistics for this type. Let's see. Alors, please do not store data into blob or JSON, but add two columns to your table, removing this one. Type for source, target. Okay, I will also, so I'm trying to repeat exactly what we did last time. Very good. I forgot to check, but it says that it's gonna make an index here, which is perfect. Um, add, so change this column into months, year with an index, and storing dates as year, mm. Okay, UID indexed, perfect. I think we're good for the table. Module. Under statistic install hook schema to define perfect. Implement name to create the table if the module is already installed. Yes, it is. Statistic aggregation worker annotation. So do not use annotation. This is where it is very important because otherwise that's change I will have to do later. Do not use Drupal annotation, but a PHP attribute. Well, I would rather have it not sending the month timestamp because normally it shouldn't be run for another month, but okay, let's keep this approach. Query under the statistic, okay, aggregate data, insert, update, Perfect. Handle failures with requeue exception 5 entry. I'm not sure this exception actually exists. I think it's an hallucination. It does. So requeue exception exists, perfect, which is, you see, I mean, I would have to search. Define the cron job to run monthly, so it is not it's only the first day of the month, but it's not at 5 minutes. So I will add a little comment. Okay. Statistic cron or inside dot module. Logic to identify users with activity in the past months. No, so it is not what you have to do. We can create distinct. Place your ultimate cron callback inside. So I'm repeating myself because I think I already told it this last in the other task. Alors, is there any problem with the logic? Logic to identify users with activity in the past months and queue them. Perfect. Actually, the requirement says plan user segregation for the past month. That's funny. It's like an entire thought of Gemini. We can query distinct UIDs for the previous month. Okay. And the JIT post update. Add an post update queue aggregation for all months prior to the previous month. Perfect. Because sometimes it was making mistake to having an overlapping. When I will run the cron, it will create the data for previous months, and it would create the hook post update, creating data for the previous months, and then both were overlapping, and I would have a duplication of data. Profile statistic controller. So generate global statistic. It identified exactly kind of the function, the method which needs to be revamped. Query Energetic statistic monthly for all past months. Query Energetic statistic click for current month. Live merge result. Perfect. Profile chart controller. Yes, content. Check if the requested range matches the full past month. If yes, so it always wants to do that. So it wants to, if it's an entire month and previous month, it's gonna fetch the aggregated data, and if it's the current month, it's gonna just take a direct query to the entity, which is an addition of complexity for me, but actually, if it can be done, and if it can be done by AI in one click, okay, why not? Verification plan, automated test, run dev exec be at, we are good. Manual verification, trigger cron manually, check database, verify dashboard. Okay, so normally it should be able to do this by itself. You can run dev drush cron. But I will tell him you can do this verification yourself by running first the dev drush update db, the dev drush cron, and using cron to validate data before and after they should be identical. Okay, that's a lot of comment for it to see, but let's see. Okay, I will proceed with those 7 comments. Okay, so it updated the plan for me to review again. Let's go quick. I'm not gonna go read everything again. Create a new table. Okay, ID, UID, months here. Perfect. Type. Perfect. Source Google. I think I will pass it this information. So here you see, I think, I mean, I'm trying as with you, like, um, I'm still improving, trying to use anti-gravity, but I will pass it exactly what we did last time. So it will probably again remake a plan. Indulgent hook schema, perfect, update them, okay. Keyword okay. Attribute, this time it took the attribute. Logic, retrieve and months here or timestamp to convert, create, aggregate type value. Okay, so it has to redo the rethink this logic. With the attached table structure. My previous comment. Okay, ultimate cron, define the cron job, so this time it updated that. Callback, energy statistic monthly analytic, perfect. So in the cron, implement energy statistic monthly analytic, logic to identify users with activity in the past month and queue them, that's perfect. Post update for the past month, queue aggregation for all months prior to the previous month. Profile statistic, super. Profile chart controller, content. Okay, run the dev. When you run rush update the bed, run con multiply time to process the queue, visit the dashboard, compare all time and monthly stat. Okay, that's pretty great. I'm just gonna ask so for the 2 changes, the changes of the database structure. So again, you do not need daily inbound, daily outbound, and source target. You should be able to proceed to display total statistics or monthly one simply using source, target, and countries, storing each one the sum of the total for each user, but I need to mention the month, so storing each one the monthly sum of the total for each user. Okay, but I will have to ask it to do again. The cron is good, principally focus on querying the entity table to render these charts. Uh, okay. Um, I will show you because I think what it is trying to do is, for example, if I select this range it wants to store those data also in the aggregated table, which when I've been discussing last time with Gemini 2.5, figure out, I mean, if we query, even if there is a million rows, we query directly in MySQL, just making a sum. So using MySQL to calculate the sum, it should be okay. And problem, we're not gonna aggregate all those data. But if someone just select 3 days, uh, I mean, it's too much of an overkill. At least I think for now. If I have the program later and I see it's actually slow, maybe I will change my mind. But for now, I think it's an overkill. Okay, sending it back to thinking. Okay, okay. Here it is. Use group by and aggregation function to fetch daily traffic, source target duration, optimize query to minimize database load. Okay, I think we're good to go. Create custom table. Okay, schema. Okay. Varchar seg 16. Well, I hope. But let's see. I will. I can review after. I hope it won't like force this because it's better to just take 2.5. I don't want it to rethink again. I will go with this because what if tomorrow I have I need to add a new type or something? Locking it to 16 varchar is a bit overkill. Create job cron, implement engine in a cron. Okay, well that seems pretty good to me. So back and forth, just creating the plan, and now I will click proceed, and I think it's gonna start implementing the code. Moving to execution. Wow, it already wants to run the hook update DB. Just give me a second. Year, month, Varsha. Oh yeah, I will force. I will. I will change that. Okay, this is very good. That's not. That should be 11. Okay. So is it? Yes, he can already run the database. Okay. So what's awesome here is if it had any problem, it would like if the command would return a failure, it would work again trying to fix it. So it's really an agent. It's really think it's like you just tell someone to do the job for you, and it tries. It will try, and then it's mostly about reviewing. And you have access to all the thought. You have they call it artifact, but mostly except if you need to really dig into what it is doing, you can check it. I mean, it's funny to check for your own curiosity, but you can just let it work and check the files at the end. So it did the cron. Okay, so that's my fault. I didn't see it override one of my cron job, and I need this cron job, so I will have to do the change. Probably it was visible in the plan, but I went a bit too fast. Alors, wait a second. That's the post update. So here is the thing is when you ask it to do the command for you, in a way you give away your ability to review. I mean, you saw I was able to do some change and everything, but here, whereas reviewing, so I can just see that the batch implementation is looking something I would do myself. So it's good it took example from what I'm doing. And that was probably the part in my code, in my first prompt, initial prompt, try to do the code as it is in the code base. But here you could just let it run and see if it fails, it's gonna come again, work on it for you. So um, I will trust it. Set time, that's good. Okay, I will trust it and just accept and let it do its magic. Yeah, everything worked for it. I've hit a small snag in ensuring source consistency. It's funny to read it. Okay, working on the controllers. It really comes to actually learning how to describe precisely what you want. And not like sending a prompt in 2 seconds. It's really like if you would advise someone, another colleague or somebody to do a job, the more precise you are and the better they can perform the job the way you want it. So it's a bit of a learning process, how to write the correct prompt. And also, I have to admit, because I've been working on a project from scratch yesterday. At the end of the day, it started to work back. I couldn't record the video I'm doing today. Uh, of course, when you start from scratch, you don't have files, you don't have code base, and then I actually spent a lot of time yesterday, like rewriting a lot of what it is doing because it doesn't have example yet. So now I will continue today, and now I will have the ability to tell it, look at the code I have wrote and try to mimic this code uh, in the way you code. Because of course here I'm doing it as a personal project, but imagine if you're at your company or at your business, when you commit, it's your code, right? It's your commit, so it's your responsibility. So you need first to review it pretty well, and also if if you want it to be nice to review, you want the code to look alike what you would do yourself. So I think when you start from scratch, it's very hard. And if you work in a company and project has different type of code and everything, I would recommend that you point to files you wrote yourself, uh, and which so it can mimic your way of coding, and not the global project because every coders come with their part of code. So okay, so what it is doing? Oh, it is already the cron. Did we run the post update? Ah, yeah. Backfilling. Okay. I didn't even check if it did think about first day of last month. Will I have duplicates? I think he did a mistake. First day of last month, so when he's gonna run the cron, we're gonna generate twice the same statistic, except if it's an upsert, so it will update insert, so if it will see there is something and just override it. Uh, okay, so it had an issue with the cron job. Okay, it will figure it out by itself. Ah, but it fixed it already. Okay, good. So you see that's amazing. It hit a problem and then it fixed the issue and he's like, "Can I run again just to check if it works now?" And this time it worked. I'm very curious about this. Yes, it wants to open the browser. I'm very curious about that. So verifying dashboard with browser subedge and preview. Antigravity would like to use the browser. I did it normally. It is installed. Ah, it needs my input. Return to agent. Oh my god, this is very well made. Alors, a verify dashboard with a browser subs. Navigate to tuk tuk tuk. Click. You don't need the login button. You will figure it out. Navigate to profile dashboard. If not redirected there. Verify the dashboard loads and display. Look. Yeah, okay, but you forgot to. Mm, it forgot to check the data before. Let's see. So it is working. It needs my input. I'm trying as we speak. That's the first time I managed to actually have it. Agent needs permission to act. Okay. It seems the reset link might have been expired. No, 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 no. It has worked. Don't worry. Uh, it's too bad I can't delete. It want to click element dashboard. Okay, it did. And okay, we don't have the right data at all. We have 5K interaction. We're supposed to have 70K, 17K. I think it's done. And the works through. So I have optimized the statistic dashboard. Okay, but it didn't work. It even gives you a screenshot. Okay, change implemented. The database, so I will have to go check. We can do that right now, probably. PHP The table is here, but how many? Oh, you have a lot of data. Okay, but it messed up with some calculation because we should have. So let's see the structure. Also on type, it put an indexes on type, which is not really needed, but I didn't see. I should have reviewed more thoroughly. Um, Year, months, okay, and of course the review, thorough review, and I'm still learning. I think I should have reviewed the code before running it, but then you I don't know. I need to try with experience, but you kind of break its own thought because, as you saw, when it fails, it will change and update itself. So I don't know what's best to review before you execute the code or to review after. Here, I pointed it to run directly the hook update and everything. So I end up having kind of a mess because we already performed all the change and everything, but I have the code. If I want, I have my, of course, I have my backup database. If I want, I can just restart the entire process. But starting not from scratch, starting from everything implemented in, I don't know how long it took. I mean, it took me, what, 10 minutes to write the prompt, like to write proper prompt. I'm passing, of course, on the attempt before because it's a learning process. But I wrote the prompt correctly, and then it took us what 1 hour. So what I did last time in 4 hours, it did it in. I mean, it's not done because it's not working, but probably in 2 hours I'm done. That's obvious. I know what happened. Though we have the months in the database. But the cron job didn't run because it didn't import the config. It created the install file, but the module wasn't installed. It was already installed. So there were a manual step here for me to do to install the cron job. No, so I think the issue is actually pretty obvious here. That's simple. We didn't run the cron, so we miss 10. We miss October, and I will fix the cron, and so it's just I need to import the config myself. Yeah, it couldn't do that by itself. It could, uh, if I had asked it maybe to create the file in config sync. Uh, Never mind. Import. So if you check the previous video I made, you will see I did the same task. Okay, so I have monthly aggregation. I have monthly aggregation statistic here. I will run it. It should have queued a lot of items. Okay, 117 user queued. Now I will run the cron. And that's it. So okay, without reviewing, we now see that it's also fixed India and Turkey here. Uh, One single prompt. Code looks pretty nice to me. I'm pretty sure we're not so far away from what we did last time. Of course, I can't insist more. Review, and of course, reviewing, testing. Reviewing meaning you run the code, you see the logic, probably using Xdebug and your step debugger, just to make sure everything is okay. You don't want to push in production like that without actually checking. But I made this in a single prompt. Pretty amazing, no? Well, good job from Google. This is amazing. And at first, it was weird for me to change my IDE because it's not the exact same colors. I mean, that's stupid, huh? When you have been working for like 5 years using same IDE, same colors, your eyes are built to see stuff and you go faster. So of course there is a little change. Though I installed the same theme, it's still the same open source idea, but the theme is a bit different. And also I now have to work with the Google feature, which are adding yellow to the background. I mean, it's a bit weird. I will get used to it. Also here you see those are not the same colors. If you look at my previous video, normally it's blue, and so small changes. But I think I'm gonna give a better try to Antigravity IDE and start using it for my daily use. I hope you enjoyed.